Something I think is very important to recognize. It may seem like a small thing, but I think it's important. And that is what we'll often hear on the television or the radio or a podcast. Boy, don't I listen to a lot of podcasts. What we often hear is, oh my goodness, do you know that the great majority of murders are never solved? The people just get away with it and they're still out there and who knows when they're going to strike next. Oh my goodness, this crime was perpetrated and we still haven't caught the person who did it. We don't know where he is. They got away with it. Well, I want to bring out one thing that often happens in these areas. People who lead a life of transgression are not the most imaginative people in the world. If, say, a person decides they're going to lead a life of crime and rob banks, I don't know, whatever it might be. Well, the thing that he should do, if he were smart, would obviously research how to rob a bank, I suppose. And try to do the best job he could. But then he'd set as his goal to rob 3 banks over the course of 6 years and then stop and never do it anymore. That would give him the very best odds of getting away with it long term. But what actually happens? Well, when a person feels rewarded for doing any action, he will probably do it again. Was that Pavlov's dog? The dog who salivates when he hears the bell ring because he associates the bell with the treats. A person who robs a bank and walks away with some tens of thousands of dollars, wow! What is he going to do? He's going to go out and try to rob another in the same way he robbed the first, because the way he robbed the first worked. Okay? And this is true of whatever transgression a person is doing. They will continue to do it because they are being rewarded for it and because they don't have a lot of imagination to change up or to say, wow, I got away with that twice. I'm going to stop now because every time I do it, increases my odds of getting caught. And I've got my reward and I'm just going to stop. Doesn't work that way. They keep on at it. Here's my point. When a person, this is one of the real advantages of being on the side of law enforcement besides a wide network of radios. The person who is doing the crime does it again in pretty much the same way. They have the same operating experience, the same MO, modus operandi. They have the same way of doing it, and that makes them easier to catch the next time and easier to identify when the same crime is done in the same way. Some of this may not seem to make it, but here's my point. Very often when you're talking about someone who got away with it, they're still out there. What you find is, no, they're not. When you actually find the person who did the crime, you know where they are very often? Sitting in a state prison, maybe the next door state prison, maybe 3 states away, maybe in your own state, because they continue to do the crimes. People, for a large percentage of people, they don't get away with it. They are sitting in prison, and the crime, that particular crime, is not being, so to speak, paid for, but the person is indeed locked up and kept away from damages he might do for the rest of society.